welcome back to another episode of Talking Tech. We're here live once again on a Tuesday, and that was like very quick. I was actually changing one of the scenes on my on my stream deck, and I clicked it, and boom, it just swapped it over. So I do apologize about it cutting off very quickly, but what we got here? Deanie, tier 1. Can't say where it is. 30 months in a row. Whoa. Danny, thank you very much for that. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support and the help with PC419 as well. Once again, we've got Marky in the chat as well. He's in Discord, if you guys can hear him.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, good morning. And we might have a few of the other guys in there if they want to join as well. More than welcome, more than welcome. So today I'll be looking at a few things. Obviously, I want to start off talking tech with our sponsors. So sponsors for the show is Cooler Master and Blue Design. So for all your needs in regard to Cooler Master, hardware, PC, pretty much all-in-ones, cases, PSUs, you name it, fans, they've got it. Head over to coolmaster.com, and tonight I'm actually using the Yeti X. I'm sick and tired of using a lapel mic and just mucking around with the audio. So pretty much put it on the stand tonight. It is where it is now, and it's pretty much how we'll be doing the show from now on. But head over to bluedesigns.com, and we'll be checking out some of their other products as well. So I've got the Yeti X here, and I've got the Yeti Nano up there as well, which we'll probably be doing for next week's show, but do stay tuned for that. But tonight, the star of the show, which we'll be doing some benchmarking on, is the Sapphire 5600 XT. And I've had a lot of questions asked of that in our Discord and in the chat as well, to see where we can obviously take this new thing. And hopefully it's going to be something big enough for us to actually look at, see a comparison between either the 2060 or the 1660 Ti. But that's where it sort of ranges at, but we'll definitely talk about that a bit later on. So have a look here in the chats. Danny's lurking. No worries, mate. Cheers for that. See if we can bring this up a bit more so I can see the chat. I can't see the chat on this window. What did we miss on the chat? Let me have a look here. Golf's hosting. Thank you very much, Golf. Welcome, Dark. Welcome, Deadlocks. What else we have here? All the mod squad is here. I thought I saw another name as well up here. Who have I got? And Daredevil Sacco. Welcome to the chats. Fantastic. So we've had a few things go on for the last obviously week here. So mainly I've been obviously doing some few PC builds. Last week's build was a 3600 build with a 2070 Super. Now I have got my AMD machine here, this is my machine actually. It's a 3700X, and I'm currently finished the video. Hopefully the editing probably start tomorrow and be up by Thursday. Fingers crossed, Rowie. And we'll be looking at the 5600 XT. Then the next video will be coming up, which I'll be doing next, hopefully maybe tomorrow actually. I'll have this finished off tomorrow, is the Seagate FireCuda 520. So it's a 1 terabyte drive. I'm going to do comparisons on that. And the good thing about this drive is, well, this NVMe drive here, is it is PCI 4.0, and I have got an X570 board. So can't wait to have a look at that and see the speed differences, because I've got 970 Pros and 960 Pros in my main rig. I want to see what the speed differences between PCI 4.0 and the standard PCI slot here as I've got in my Z390 board. So how's everyone been going in the chat? Hey, how you been, Mark? What's new, buddy?
Good, mate. No, not much. Just the work as usual.
Just the work as usual?
Nothing changes here.
Yeah. Just give you guys a bit of an update. Even well, back at the moment, it's been actually, I don't think it's even getting any better. It's getting to a stage now where it's just like it comes okay, then it's sort of enough to sort of, yeah, I know, but this pain's so different. I can't like just put my finger on it and what it's actually sort of doing to me. It's just it's a whole new aspect of pain that I've never felt before, and it's trust me, honestly, I actually wish it on no one. This is how
back pain's horrible.
Yeah. But I think what I might do is, we did have I'll put up in the Discord today, which I'll put here in the Discord.
Dark has upgraded her phone. To what?
Why can't I see it in the chat? Oh, here we go. Finally, I put it on my phone. What phone did you get? And also, we've been, bar from that, the S20 Plus. Very nice phone. Apart from that, obviously, we've been having sort of our community nights. It has been not streamed, but it's been sort of offline. We've all started Star Wars or SWOTOR. So Golf has actually been gunning that game pretty hard. So for him to go, I think he's at level 30 or level 35 at the moment now. So he's going through it pretty hard. Sorry?
He's been to work since he started playing.
Yeah.
Just quit his job.
Even Dark sent me a message on Discord today as well, yesterday, stating about the bounty hunter she's got. I think it was level 33. Was it Dark? Say we're live on Twitch. I'm just going to put the social media posts out. Put that through. Dun, 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 dun. 36. Wow. Playing on my own. Yep. Adaptive armor. Nice. Fuck. I put a space in that. I won't do it now. I don't know if it's going to ping everyone. We'll try it again. Let me know if that pinged you. Did you get pinged?
Yes.
Sweet. I might do Twitter here. Before we get the show started, I just want to make sure I've got everything running properly and everything's there. Why does it keep asking me? Oh, okay. That's already on live. That's not a problem there. Don't have to worry about that. And I'll just do the Facebook one quickly now. Surprisingly, Facebook has actually picked up a lot as well. So, Star Citizens, Mark, let me know what's to go with that at the moment. You
at the moment, it's been running good.
Yep.
After a day or two of a bit kind of shitty updates, but
yeah.
I was on pretty much all day yesterday and didn't have any issue.
Mr. B, welcome to the chat, buddy.
Hello, Mr. B.
Yeah. So.
But as soon as you get on there, that will be the day that it goes to shit. So.
Well, that's what I'm worried about. Every time I jump on, it always seems that my gear won't work. It's either glitchy or it's just not working at all.
And then you break my game.
Just give me a sec. I'm actually gonna do this Facebook on here because I'm actually screenshotting my main screen and I don't want it to be on stream. So just give me a second. I'll get this sorted out. So what's the new update got? That's it's sort of looking at doing here. Mr. B gifted a tier 1 sub to Dark Angel. Thank you very much.
This latest update was basically like you've got the prison systems being added in.
Yeah.
You've got the new mining stuff with the volatile things. You have the new microtech planet is all fleshed out now. You can land there and everything now.
Yeah.
All the moons are done. So there was a pretty substantial update, but yeah, it just had a lot of bugs on the first sort of issue of it.
Have they sort of fixed that up now? Or is it still the same?
Yeah, we had to wait like a week and a half or whatever it was for the patch.
Yeah. Fair enough.
And then it was buggy as hell for the first 2 days, and now it seems okay.
Okay.
But that can change at any time, really.
Yeah, exactly right. So I was actually speaking to Zero. Yeah. So he's sort of enticing me to sort of change over my pretty much have 2 Discords, one for your clan and it's one for myself. So pretty much for just trying to get away, pretty much as he states, I don't know yet. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that would make sense. So.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I'm actually just doing a quick thing on Facebook. Just hold on a second. Oh, it takes so long. Why has the internet changed? Oh, you know what? I'll do it later.
No, you haven't missed much yet, Fortnite.
Yeah, it's alright.
Just getting started.
No, I just started. I just started. Yeah, so I'm just actually about to finish this off. Give me about 30 seconds. I'll have this done. I just want to get this out of the way quickly so I don't have to worry about later on. I did promise the brands that I will be putting up to. That's it. For now. And put the photo in. And Facebook's out. Just refresh it, make sure it went through. Yeah, we're live. All right. Now I'm satisfied. Now I'm happy. All right. RBO6, I've not been in the channel for a long time. How is everyone? How are you, buddy? We're actually really good. We're going really well at the moment. We just started the show. I have to do the social media posts yet to get them all going. So what we're doing tonight is we'll be doing a few tech topics. It's mainly going to be obviously the Intel being released. Their new i7, i9 processors have been released, and the i5s as well. And we're going to be doing some benchmarking with this Sapphire Sapphire 5600 XT. I've done the video already on this. It's ready for edit, so this will be out. But what I want to do for you guys, particularly on the show as well, is to mainly have the Twitch channel give you guys an opportunity to actually see benchmarks live and also get a first look at what sort of videos we'll be putting out obviously next couple of weeks. So luckily enough, I've still got the card here. It's got to go back to Sapphire very soon, and it will be here and probably be going next couple of days. So before I took it away, I did want you guys to have a sort of a live view and see what I'm looking at and how I benchmarked it as well. I did benchmark it on 1080p because I do see this card more suited for 1080p gaming. But we'll do some benchmarking on here, some small gameplay, and we'll go from there. Our other thing we'll be doing tonight is comparing if you have a 9900K versus the 10900K as well. Is it worth the upgrade? I'm actually going to say it's no. Really, because I've got the 900K. I wouldn't bother actually upgrading at all. But if you got 8th gen or 7th gen, it will be a big jump for you guys as well. And then also too, we've got some comparisons with the 5600 XT compared to the NVIDIA variant, which is a 1660 Ti and a 2060. How well does it go up against it? We'll soon find out on those topics as well. Still need to check out most of your YouTube videos. Might binge watch some tomorrow. Oh, much appreciated, mate. Every view counts, even though it's one. True, Mark?
Very true.
All right, so what we'll do, I'm going to push it onto here, and I'll actually put it for here, just in case you guys haven't seen it. There's a YouTube, and there's our Twitter as well. And don't forget to check out our website. So they're all on now. I have the 8700K. Well, the new 10th gen, I would say maybe an upgrade, but 8700K is 6-core. I don't think you're getting much of a difference in gaming side. It's more particularly if you are going to do a bit more with the PC than you are doing now. So fair enough, or even streaming like you do as well. Those extra 4 cores will help with that as well. But what we'll do first is we'll actually jump into it straight away. You guys are talking about it. Give me 1 second. Bring that up. Let's make sure it's flips over to the right one. Yeah, we're up. All right, so Intel Core i9 10900K versus the Intel Core i9 9900K. These are the specifications you've got here. And what I'll also do for you as well, Mr. B, I'll bring up the 8700K as well. So it is giving you a bit of an indication of what you've currently got to the new 10th gen at the same time. I'll let you know about it in a minute, buddy. Tufi, welcome to the chat. See you as well. So there you go. So Mark has got an 8700K at the same time. So what I'll do is I'll bring it up now. Intel 9900K, 10900K versus the 8700K. I'll bring it up for you guys. There you go. All right. So we'll actually start with that first. So we'll start from 8th gen and then we'll work our way up. So Intel Core i7 8700K. So the frequencies are exactly the same. The boost clock on the 10900K has got a lot more than you think on that. So we're looking at nearly 600 megahertz. So 4.7 gigahertz turbo clock on the 8700K, and then you're looking at 5.3 gigahertz on, this is a single core by the way, on the 10900K. So there's a bit of a jump there. 4.3 gigahertz on all cores, and then 4.9 on all cores compared to the 10900K. So if you're doing a lot more with the PC at the moment, particularly, look, even streaming 6 cores is more than plenty enough. You can do it. But I've got to say for this, the 10 core would definitely assist on what you're doing, and also allow you to play AAA titles at a higher setting with no issues, no stutter at all. But if you're not a streamer, the 6 core is still a good CPU. I would have no issues with that at all. They both got hyper-threading, both are overclockable. Now, this is where it comes into it. So the 8700K has only got 12 meg of cache, where the 10900 has got 20 meg of cache, which is going to help a lot. This is where it starts to sort of dip down, where I can say from here. As you can see the stats between GPU frequency, GPU boost, this is the Intel graphics side. They're identical between the two. We're talking 2 generations. You would think that Intel would have at least brought out another Intel UHD graphics. Sorry?
Nope. Exactly the same.
That's my concern and issue, even if 9900K. Why would they do that? Like you talk about 2 generations behind.
But can I say one thing? Like anyone that's buying that CPU, are they using a integrated graphics anyway? I know it's not really the point, but
Yeah, well, you know what? Look, there is people out there that would buy a CPU like this and may just use it for Intel graphics because they need CPU power. And most likely will just have a monitor plugged into it, just even as a mini server, for example. But I still can't justify 2 generations. At least, yeah, one generation. You say fair enough. You know, it's still usable. It's good. It's, you know, it's nothing wrong with it. But reason why, particularly, is because of this. They're still running on 40 nanometer. So what they've done, they've concentrated on the actual core chip itself and just said, you know what, as you mentioned too, the Intel graphics isn't a necessity when people are spending over $1,000 or nearly $1,000 for a CPU. This is something that either get them by, or if they need to not have a graphics card for any reason, just want to swap it out quickly. That wasn't a concern. So I'll probably got a hand to you there that you're probably right in that aspect where they just said, you know what, we don't really need to change. But for me, as an influencer and as a reviewer, I find that I find that really bad from their side. I thought they would have raised the mark with the GPU.
We'll just do it again.
Yeah, it's like Mr. B's actually saying it. Hey, Joe, how you going, buddy? You would have thought they would have shrunk the die too. Well, they did try. They failed. That's the reason why it's still 14 nanometer. They said, well, we've perfected the 14 nanometer. Apparently, the new generation will be 7 nanometer when it comes out next year, apparently. But in this case here, they've actually kept it at 14 nanometer and just pretty much just overclocked, the shit out of it, really. People are still stating, they're still using server processors now and has brought it into the consumer market. Yes and no, because there is some CPUs out there that, the old Xeon processors will probably get about 4.4, 4.5, and then they're saying they've actually used those sort of chips to implement into the market now. It's not the case. There is very similarities between them, but not as much as you think. But as you can see from here, there isn't much of a difference. Honestly, we're probably talking here maybe about, if you had to look at FPS, regardless what GPU you got, you might gain maybe 15, 20 FPS just from the CPU side alone if you had to change it, and it's not worth the upgrade. Like 15, 20% is not worth, for me, is an upgrade. Like at the moment now, my 900K, which is, we'll see if there's any more information on this that you guys want to see. Well, we'll look at this as well. So we'll look at the architecture. One's Coffee Lake, one's Comet Lake. The memory, so 8700K is set to 2666, which is obviously not true, but the memory on the 10900K is 2933, both dual channel or quad channel as well. 120 gig max memory on each. No ECC support. PCIe version is 3.0. PCIe lanes is 16, and that's another thing as well. Look, AMD's released their CPUs with PCIe 4.0, and we're still running on old shit. Both 14 nanometer. Yes, the sockets are different. One's a 95 watt TDP, and the other one's 125. And then pretty much you look at that Q4 of 2017 to Q2 2020. Is it worth the upgrade? I'm just going to create more heat. Anyway, because the CPU is integrated with the same die, unless I'm wrong. No, it is integrated on the same die itself. Like it's obviously the die itself is slightly larger compared to the 8700K. Probably, if you had to look at it, say example, I'm going to use this as a measuring tool. So that's probably like the 8700K from there to there, and then you've got the 10900K, which is probably maybe about 4 mil longer. Yeah, I don't know. I just can't justify it at the moment. Unless you need the other 4 cores specifically, it ain't worth the upgrade at this stage. Not until they release DDR5, put PCI 4.0 on there, and give you a specific upgrade. I'm only seeing this processor as an enthusiast or someone buying a new PC, but as a complete upgrade for your machine, I really can't see it at the moment. What do you think, guys, in the chat?
I'm still going to decide later when I see proper results and everything coming from it.
Yeah. By the way, I've actually got one coming in. I've got a Z490 and a 10th gen CPU coming in. This processor coming in soon, so I'll know for myself. But comparing to what I've currently got now for my main rig, I don't see it being any different. Golf goes, I've got a 6850K and probably looking to upgrade later this year.
For him, he will see an upgrade.
Oh, he'll definitely see an upgrade. But you're going to go Intel or you're going to go AMD? Or you're going to wait for AMD to release their 4000 CPUs? September, Computex. Mr. B goes, I honestly don't think the CPU is worth an upgrade for 20%. I don't think it is as well. Unless you're looking for those extra 4 cores that you might need. If your PC is running fine at the moment, I'm going to say no at this stage. It's going to be one of those. I'm talking about if you've got an 8700K. I'm not talking about if you've got a 7700 or even further back. You will see a difference on that. Going from quad core to 10 core, from 4 cores to 10 cores, you will definitely see a difference in that. But moving to, say, example, my system currently now, because I've got a 900K in mine. This is where it comes to, yes, should you upgrade or not? And I really can't see the difference. And people with a 9900K currently now, I'm going to suggest to skip this generation until you get better features on your motherboard than it is to actually buy something now. And I'm spewing that this CPU obviously isn't as much of a big difference because you're looking at what, say, frequencies are 3.7. So it's your base clock. You got 5.3 on to the 10900K and 5 gigahertz on a 900K. Mine does reach 5.3 as well with ease. Turbo all cores 4.9 and 4.7. I can get 4.9 on all cores on mine as well. And then you've got 2 core differences. You've got 10 core and an 8 core. Both got hyper-threading, both overclockable. Cache 16 meg to 20 meg. I barely see any difference between the two, specifically with mine at the moment now. And then we go back to look at this. It's exactly the same. So they both use the Intel UHD Graphics 630. So really, this is where we're looking at. Like, it's not really much of a difference. Maya, welcome. Thank you very much.
No, I think if you got a 9900K, then no.
No, it's definitely not.
700K maybe.
If you're looking for those 4 cores, if you're looking for those extra 4 cores.
Anything under that, then
I definitely agree, Ruru. It's that fair enough, you're getting the extra 2 cores, you're getting a bit more cache out of it, but I don't see the significance of having that change up to it, because I really can't see it. For me, it's really not worth it.
picking the 10 next year, aren't they?
Sorry?
2021, I think they're picking for the next gen.
Yeah. Well, next gen is, possibly 10 nanometer. It's supposed to have DDR5 memory, PCI 4.0, which it just feels like Intel's always behind at this stage in technology-wise. Look, gaming, Intel has got a very, like, when it comes to gaming, yes, the performance will probably slightly just outdo on some games with AMD. And specifically what games you're looking at as well, depending on obviously how it's been built and if it's made more for Intel CPUs than it is for AMD. But if you notice now, a lot of the, the people making the games at the moment now, the publishers are actually not suited for if it's Intel or AMD. Back in like 3-4 years ago, if you didn't have an Intel CPU, you'll lose those 10 or 15, 30 frames, Now publishers are actually saying, you know what, we're going to suit the game for both architectures to see what it's like, and just, you know what, you can have your choice in here. And because AMD has taken over the market so long now, last 2-3 years over Intel, I don't think that Intel has done the right move in pulling out a CPU like this with a new board and pretty much 0 differences bar from a superior overclock and maybe better chipset in regard to from their side, but with no extra features in it. Where AMD brought out PCI 4.0, it brought out a few other features on their boards as well. One thing I probably disagree with AMD, when they did promise that AM4 socket will be suited for pretty much till 2021. Now pulling back on that, saying that X570 and B550 boards will be only suited for the new 4000 series chips. If you're still running the first gen AM4 socket, it's probably due for an upgrade anyway. But I don't agree that they said yes, it's going to be the same socket till 2021, and you'll be okay for the next 3-4 years. But now we've sort of killed back on that. River goes, Intel wins gaming frames war only in 1080p, low resolutions. People buying these chips shouldn't even be playing on 1080p. No, I doubt anyone. Well, prospectively, I don't think anyone would be running on 1080p if they're spending $1,000 on a CPU. It'd be ridiculous to actually go back to 1080p gaming. It'd be stupid. You would just, you wouldn't want it anyway. Like, that's just one thing you wouldn't want to do. And if you're going for like a mid-tier PC, or even a lower tier PC, your 1080p game is still fine. But I'll be running 1440p for I had 21:9 as well, which I did love. It's specifically, it just wasn't suited for my workflow how I had it. If you're going to spend $1,000 on a CPU, your machine's going to be worth at least $3-4 grand. That's as simple as that. If you got $1,000 on a graphics card minimum, you got $1,000 on your processor, then you got your board, RAM, case, power supply, and everything else that comes with it. So I don't think anyone will be doing any 1080p gaming if they are doing that, well, they've actually got the wrong information and they're not choosing their parts correctly, obviously. It is, they're actually catching up very well on that. Would you go max 1440p if you were gaming? No, it all depends on your setup. And honestly, it all depends on the games you're playing as well. Particularly, these screens are 1440p anyway. I would never go back to 1080p gaming. The only reason why I've still got a 1080p screen is that's 144 hertz, which is this ViewSonic I've got here, is specifically for my low to mid tier cards and builds that I do. But primarily, any high end builds that I build, when I used to do specifically the system builds the custom builds for events and all that, I used to benchmark those because they're all top end parts with those. And particularly when you've got a $4,000 machine, even a $5,000, $8,000 machine, you don't want to have a 1080p screen. Like you want to bench it on a 4K, which we've got here, and also 1440p. Yeah, that's exactly right, Ruth. Like you can buy a 1440p for 144 hertz. They average between 350 on a low mid-tier panel to $600-700 when you go to sort of a mid to high. But the next video you'll see when I'm talking about this card, which I'll mention here as well. A lot of people make mistakes when they're building a PC, when they put all their money into their PC, and then they said, you know what, I've got $200 or $300 left on a monitor. One thing I don't skip out on when I'm building a new PC, and it's ever since I've started building PCs, is the thing that's in front of me, which is the monitor. Every day, all day, I'm looking at it, and if I buy a cheap monitor and then I've got a really kick-ass PC, you're not going to get what you're going to get out of it. A lot of people, I know for a fact, and it's not in part of the community itself, it's actually with everything else. People spend big on their desktops and then go and buy a $200 or $300 monitor and think, oh, I've got a $3,000 or $4,000 machine, even a $2,500 machine, right? And the color vibrance isn't there, or I'm getting stuttering because one, 9 out of 10, they've actually bought a 60 hertz monitor and thinking, well, there must be a problem with the graphics card. And the reason why I know this is because when I used to service manage a retail store a couple of years ago now, I used to tell them, all right, well, look at the system specs. It used to be fine. I used to put it on our test bench, and we had back then it was a 120 hertz monitor, and it used to run fine. I'm like, what's their issue? What's going on with it? So I used to tell them all right, come around here, tell me exactly what you've done with it. Oh, it's not doing it here. He'll take it back. Next day he'll bring it back again. And I'm like, you guys, it's the same problem. I'm like, what monitor have you got? And it was like the most cheapest monitor you can get. It was like $130, $140 monitor, 60 hertz. I think he wasn't even using the right cables, to be honest. And I couldn't believe the issues he had with it. And I pretty much told him, look, you need to go spend this much money on a monitor. This is what I recommend. It's not too expensive, but not high end. Took it, bought it, rang me up next day and said, yep, Lee, it's perfect. Thank you very much. That was the issue. Exactly, Robert. Exactly. You can take advantage of the power of your PC if you have a shit monitor. Well, exactly right. Yeah, sorry, you can't take. Yeah, exactly right. So it's pretty much exactly how I explained it. You can't have... It's like buying a Ferrari and then putting in a 4-cylinder in it. It's exactly the same thing. So think of, you got your horsepower, you got your engine horsepower here, but then what you're looking in front of you at the moment is the most important thing. Because at the end of the day, regardless of what your PC can do, if you've got a very crappy monitor that's actually not, even if you buy 120 or 144 hertz or even 165 hertz now monitors now, and it's like $200-300, your color accuracy isn't going to be the best. You might get IPS, you might get good VA panels now, but you are still looking at what's in front of you, and the immersion of the games you want to play isn't going to work as well. It is going to set you back. Like you're talking, like this ViewSonic monitor is about, I think it's about $240 or $260. They're roughly about now. Like these monitors here are about 3 years old and they're still going for about $1,000. So it's a 3-year-old monitor. When they came out brand new, they were $1,500 each. People always worry about their CPU or bottleneck their GPU, but the monitor is their biggest bottleneck. Exactly right. Exactly right. You watch my next video. When I release this Sapphire video, go for the whole thing. It's not going to be a really long video, but the end part of it is pretty much me explaining whatever GPU you buy, always make sure you've got the money to spend on your monitor next. If you've got a monitor ready to go, it's good luck. You've spent the money already. But if you don't skip out on a monitor. That's just one of my top things that I would always say to everyone.
But then at the same time, like if you're trying to run like a 1440 monitor, high refresh with something like a 1050, you're going to have issues.
Well, I've had that in the past before as well. But
people will blame their PC when it's really the monitor is not suited to it.
Mate, I've seen people buy literally like just pre-built PCs, you know, $800-900 PCs with example, like with a 1050 or a 1050 Ti at the time. It was actually probably more 970, 980 back at that time. And they bought a 4K 60 hertz monitor. It's like, and the first thing they say, oh, but it says it can run it. Of course, it does say on the box 4K. It's resolution of, you know, 4K, for example, at 60 hertz. Yes, it will produce what you want to produce, but not the games you want to play. Pretty much, if you want a spreadsheet, it will do it fine. You know, and that's as far as you're going to get. One thing I forgot, I can't use. Otherwise, it's going to. Sometimes I just click it and say yeah, permit. It's all right. I try and hold back a lot. I actually do swear a lot. It's
click allow.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty easy. Mr. B, it's probably a lot more relaxed here than it is on Amber's channel. I actually swore accidentally on this video. I said shit, but I had shh came out and I cut it. I started. I'll see if you guys can notice it. It's at the end when I'm rambling on about the graphics card and the monitor, and I want to see if you guys actually pick up on that. I think the GTX 970 can do 4K 60 low details in esports games. I would even say it will do that, Ruru. The 970 GTX is, yeah, if you're talking about RTS, I'm going to allow it, but any other esports games, CSGO, anything like that, we're going to have to cut them out. Any FPS games, I don't think we'll do it. RTS, maybe.
Stuff like Dota and LOL, all that sort of shit, I think would.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's way more relaxed over there. You can see. Evening, mate. Hello, how you going, Recover? How you feeling? Hope you're feeling well. Ricky's been playing a lot of Dead by fucking Daylight.
Is he recovering?
He's recovering. Yes, he is. So we're just talking about the i9 9900K versus the 10900K. Is it worth the upgrade? I'm going to say no, it's not worth the upgrade. And then we'll just previously just discussing the 8700K versus the 10900K. And at this stage, if you own the CPU and you're looking at changing just because you want the extra 4 cores to help you out, fair enough, that will definitely help you. But I'm not going to say it's a worthy upgrade if your PC is running as it should now. If you're still streaming and it's still running the games you're playing, fair enough. Unless some AAA title comes out and it wants to pull you back far enough to go from ultra to high settings. Obviously, it depends on the GPU you've got as well. I would say then maybe you might need to upgrade depending on what you're playing. But if not, just leave it until the next generation comes. I don't think that Intel have actually put a lot into this CPU. Like we said, I think it's more of a refresh than it is actually a new technology. Still running a 14 nanometer. Yes, they've added more cache. Yes, more boost clock on boost core clock on the single core, and a bit more on all cores as well compared to the 900K. But there isn't even much difference between the 8700K as well. Like, you know, the 8700K can reach up to 4.9 to even 5 gigahertz. I've seen chips even do that. But
running it now constantly.
There you go. And then on all cores, the most that I've seen personally, the ones I've seen is 4.4, 4.6, 4.7 on all cores, stable. What's yours getting? You got 5 gigahertz on all cores.
Yeah, 4.
Well, there you go. So I must have a dud chip.
I got it.
Yeah. Doing better, Lee. Got it on top of a lot of things, and now surgery is coming soon. We'll shoot you a longer DM. No worries at all, buddy. And good luck with the surgery as well. You'll be out of action for a bit after that. All right, so let's get into what we're going to be talking about tonight. So we're going through that. We've got another question on here as well, which I'll bring up the Discord page, and we'll go to the Ask Lee for Talking Tech. So this is a new segment I'm putting in. This has actually been here for a while now, and for some reason we keep skipping it because the show has obviously been, well, the show having 2 people on here at the time. But I will be going back to this, and if a new question comes up, I'm just going to be adding it into each week. But we've had 2 questions put up today, which is great. One's famous. I've already answered your question. So Zero goes, what's your take on the general state of VR technology, and will it see it become cheaper for more games developed in the next few years? VR is a different aspect of gaming. A very different. Like Para's got it at the moment now as well. He's been playing a lot of VR. He actually does a few live streams within our Discord channel. And yes, it's immersive, but I don't think until they drop at least the $700 to $800 mark on VR headsets, it's more affordable at this stage. Once you are paying for technology, you're paying for the R&D as well, which is understandable. But I'm seeing a lot of people buying at least a generation behind VR just to try it out because they can't afford, well, it's not worth spending $1,500 on a new HTC Vive Pro, whatever it's called now. I don't think it's actually something that it will come out very soon. But particularly my interest in VR would be for flight sims. I wouldn't use it bar from that. If I was full into Star Citizens, for example, and every other flight sim, I actually do love flight simulators. That would be the only reasons why I'll get VR, personally. But spending $1,500 on a new kit, I've seen them once up to $2,000, $1,000 kits. I just don't see at the moment now that the game developers are actually going to be anytime soon making a lot more VR games until the VR headsets become a lot more cheap and a lot more affordable.
I think my problem is like a lot of the games right now, the clipping in them still.
Yeah.
Like just the hands and the head and whatever else. Like you can basically put like your arm through your body kind of thing because they don't track properly. They don't sort of understand how a body would work, I guess.
Yeah, that's true. But
Breaks it for me.
For me particularly, I wouldn't be actually using VR with the sticks. I'll literally be using the VR just for the headset. That's exactly what Golf said now. Particularly just for that. So it's just more of the immerse, to have it more immersed for you, but it depends how far you want to go with it. Like me particularly, I actually get motion sickness, and that's one of the reasons why I don't have VR at the moment. I've got motion sickness playing Raft with the boys. So, and I literally took out, what was the settings on that? Like it was some sort of movement settings or, I think it was like a motion setting. I had to turn that off and I still got sick from it.
I think it's actually called motion sickness or something.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah. I think VR is shifting the markets. They want to do the training sims professionally. And I think VR game devs need console support from Sony and Microsoft to get the money back, backing them. That is true as well. I think since F1 racing particularly has really taken off since obviously the tournament's been cancelled for this year. I know at least 10 people that have actually gone out and either started iRacing or started with a group of mates because they love V8 supercars and actually love Formula One. My brother-in-law is one of them. Literally bought a full setup. He is playing on Xbox at the moment because it's all he wants to play on because all his mates got Xbox. I know, but that trend's already started, and eventually, as Ruru said, it will kick in the market. If COVID-19 started a lot of things this year, particularly, but the thing you got to see as well, a lot of people looking at just now at this stage, is VR going to be the new option? I still don't think it is. I still think it's too expensive to even get a kit. You can buy the cheaper VR sets, obviously with the. I don't know if it's all phones, but I know Samsung's got their own VR headset.
Give you a bad experience of VR, I think.
I think it'll give you a taste. I don't think it's only a bad experience if you've used proper VR. I think if you start with the phone first, you're just getting that immersive, sensitivity of it, or the senses of it. And then if you want something better, then you go and buy VR. I know a lot of people have actually started from just using the phones first, just, getting the Samsung headset. And then they've jumped onto VR because they enjoy it. Particularly, a lot of people that I know of actually do play Beat Saber as well. So that's another thing at the same time. But if I had to go buy VR just like I said, it will literally just be for flight simulators. I wouldn't do it for racing, so I'm not into racing, but it'll literally just be the headset on its own. I've got my flight stick, I've got my throttle, and it's just a bit more of an immersive, having the VR headset on.
Wedding.
Fortnite I get the same thing. Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's so bad. I never personally liked VR anyway. It doesn't bother me if it becomes a thing. I see myself using it 3 or 4 times before I drop the thing, and then it becomes a waste of money for me. You can get proper insurance on those. Thunder Insurance, actually, they're actually a good company. I deal with them a lot. They actually insure products, for example, hardware, whatever it is, for accidental damage. If you do buy a lot of expensive things, so you can get proper insurance just on accidental coverage as well, which I actually do have for all my gear here, especially with the camera sets off, the cameras I've got, teleprompters, PCs. Probably in this studio here alone, there's probably about 40 grand, 50 grand worth of products here. And I'm talking about, hardware products, cameras, everything. It's in here, lighting. Becomes very expensive.